another fantastic weekend of Formula 1 racing here on the EGL Extreme Gaming League. I'm Tipsy Bob, and joining me on the mic is my trusty sidekick and my good friend, Dad Bance. Covering all the action today, we're going to be covering everywhere from Monaco, Singapore, Abu Dhabi and Bahrain, all across the world, all across the country. We have a full grid lined up, some of the best talent around the world. We have plucked them from all corners of the earth to give you some of the greatest racing experience viewing footage you'll ever see in your lifetime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGL. There we go, once all the cars are all lining up on the grid. They're all getting ready. The drivers will be focusing on their first corner. Are they going to take it? What are they going to do? Is it going to go deep? Are they going to go? Who knows? Let's take it out and away we go!
DRS is still active, and if Timo wants to get this moved on, he's gonna need to use this DRS zone, because I have a feeling... Oh no, Timo, cancel the crusher in the traction zone! I tried to mount up another overtake on 1.3 frame mark. This is Ryan 3 once again.
me and Timo are oh, he hits the pit! Oh no! Oh my god, this is so sorry, control myself. So Timo
So what we gotta do too, so they can stand at the back together again, just like Timo likes it.
how many
hold on,
times
because-
did you see how many times Timo tried to get into the pit?
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for another race of SLR Tier 1 on the EGL channel with everyone just rushing out of the pit lane in the qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix here at Suzuka. And the reason for that is that we have rain coming in this qualifying session, so it will probably be a one-shot, and we'll have to see what happens in that. And by we, I mean you, the viewers, myself, Timo, and Mr. Terror. Hello.
Yep, hi everyone, hi Timo. Yeah, it's one of those qualifying sessions where you want to get out as soon as you can. There's only two cars in the pit lane, Dragon and Julian, who apparently haven't got the memo that it's just about to rain, but everyone else is racing around to try and get the best lap they can. Is it raining already?
Yes, it is.
I have a feeling it is,
yeah.
Yep, it certainly is. So all of those cars on the soft tyres are going to be hoping they can get around quickly enough. At the moment, in the best position is Gary. He got out of the pits earliest of all, and he is on the back straight now. Is it going to be enough for him to be able to get a soft lap in here? And if so, what is the soft lap going to be? We know he's very fast in the wet anyway, and he is going to get the best of the conditions here in this qualifying session at Suzuka, because after this lap, it is going to be raining, and yeah, the drivers in the pits at the moment, I think, already know that they're not going to get a dry lap in.
So now everyone getting a little bit of room if you look on the minimap in the bottom right corner. So that's where the yellow flag come from. And I think there's actually some a little pile-up happening. Oh, Bailey! Actual
Bailey's
pile-up! I
crashed.
was gonna say it's not a literal pile-up because they are just being slow, but Bailey has hit the wall. I think he's done a Kubica or something. He's hit the gravel, I would assume, and slid into the wall, so he's already out of the qualifying session, and things are not off to a good start for him. So
yeah, absolutely right, Bailey. With a very poor start to this Japanese Grand Prix. He's had 5 DNFs in a row. He's going to be really hoping it's not 6, as Dragon retires as well from the pit lane, so he's not going to get a lap in at all. Just looking at Gary's lap now, it's not raining that hard.
The hammer's off. He has done the same as Bailey, but he hasn't lost a tire. But his lap is certainly going to be terrible because he's not getting a run onto it. Back to Gary.
So yeah, Gary is not losing too much time. Just going to have a look at the second split. Normally you'd be looking at a high 9, low 10 for a second split. This is an 11.4, so there's a little bit of time that's gone from the track in this qualifying session so far because of the rain, but not that much. And he's going to cross the line here, and it's going to be somewhere in the region, I would think, of a 28 as he crosses the line now. 28.4 from Gary. So pretty good overall. We see Hugo now coming into the
Bajan
final
and
section
Astro,
of the cars as well.
Sorry, Bajan and Astro were racing each other there. I think like Astro legitimately overtook him and takes P2.
Yep. And Justin crosses the line with a 29.9. Hugo with a 29.5. So you see it's getting slower all the time. Icewind with a good lap there. 29.0. Copy 29.3. A couple of other guys coming in the 29s. Jensen with a 29.9. Mersu Marku with a 29.7. Pretorius and Fox are going to be starting towards the back of the grid. Pixel with a 31.2. A couple other guys crossing the line. Danny's down in P11 with a 30.5. He didn't get out of the pits quickly enough. Bajan crossing the line. Well, yeah, that's not a real lap time, is it?
Yeah.
He had some incidents there in that one. So that's pretty much, I think, going to be it, because it is raining and it is not going to be dry again for the rest of the session. So I think that's going to do it for this qualifying session. Justin retires. He's got no one behind him, so he was able to do that.
Wait. Oh my god, they fixed the bug where it always shows me the rearview mirror because as long as I have my wheel plugged in. It's gone. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Don't mind
There
it.
you go.
It's just a little bug. As NJJ, yeah, NJJ and Julian will probably both put a time in just to get onto the board, and then I think we'll hopefully see all of those retiring. No reason to stall the session when we've already got our grid. Yeah, will be interesting. I don't think there's going to be... Yeah, I don't think there will be any change in this order, so we can basically already talk about the race.
Well, there's some incentive for
expectations.
NJJ and Julian
Yes.
to go out. Julian's crawling around the S's at the moment. It's obviously too wet already for the soft tires because, yeah, he's having real issues. Julian is on intermediates.
Oh, NJJ. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, NJJ, excuse me, is on intermediates. So he's going to try and do a lap on those, and he does actually gain quite a few places from that because a bunch of other people have retired.
Julian is
He's
retired.
gonna
Oh,
be ahead of
he's
Bajan.
gonna get into the way of NJJ, but...
He's on his out lap though, yeah, so it's not that big a deal.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the situation. I think we're probably going to wait for NJJ to do his lap, and then that's going to be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of interesting things from qualifying. Hugo down in P5, Danny down in P11, Tipsy up in P7. So he did a very good lap. We know he's fast around here. So good stuff from Tipsy.
NJJ taking a little trip off track. Mercer Marco P6, also good performance, and Astro Boys finds himself in P4 for now. Which is good to see, you know, he's had a difficult time lately, and a P4 in this qualifying session is worth something. Narrowly behind Copy and Icewind, of course. Icewind, who has some bad memories from Japan with, I think, mixed conditions. It was last season. Correct me if I'm wrong, his tires blew up at the very end of the race on 75%, and Jensen did go on to win that race.
Oh dear. So yeah, but Icewind put himself in a really good position, and I was going to use the preamble in qualifying to talk a little bit about this Suzuka race, because it's a little bit different from a lot of other races that we have on the calendar. It's a racetrack because, well, yeah, it's a really good track for one, but there's only one DRS zone, and it's relatively short. It's on the main straight, and it's only good for what, 2/10 or so a lap. So what that means is that track position, because overtaking is so difficult, track position is actually very important here.
Oh, Tipsy gets himself a penalty for colliding with what?
What did Tipsy collide with?
Huh? Is that a bug?
He was in the pits, wasn't he? That must be a bug. Yeah, that must be a bug.
Am I going insane? I will have to check the replay. Am I?
Let's have a look at the race director. Yeah, Tipsy collision with Jensen, grid penalty.
What? But they're both in the pits.
But yeah, Jensen was in the pits as well.
But
that's a bizarre one.
Huh?
I can't explain that.
Wow. Qualifying was already...
Justin says he got that penalty a little while ago. I think it only showed up just now. Okay. So, yeah, it was on his second lap, which was his in lap.
Oh dear.
So that's a bizarre one. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't see what happened there.
Shame.
But in any case, Tipsy does have a 5-place grid penalty, so he drops out of the top 10. Unfortunately for him. NJJ is coming through to complete his lap now, and after this I would think that the session will probably be over, NJJ.
Don't
Into
make
the
it
wall
longer than it has to be. He can still beat Bajan. Like, I mean, Bajan is the only one he can realistically beat. If he doesn't cut now, he's getting that position, and then he's fine. No,
there
don't! No!
He's gonna go into the pits.
No. He's gonna do another run.
Finish his lap.
Please don't.
I hope he's not gonna do another run.
Don't.
My goodness.
I'm literally gonna find out where my push to talk button is. Okay, no, we're good. Mercer Marco, the only one remaining, drawing all of the attention of us.
Yeah, he wants to see what it's like in intermediate conditions. Because it's a dry race, so there's no real benefit to doing this at all. Tipsy says he spun on his way to the pits and got a tap from Jensen, so that was why he got the penalty. Yeah, that's a silly one.
Makes so much sense. I love everything about that. Oh wait.
Rip Tipsy. So yeah, he'll be starting P12. Yeah, Mersumaku on a lap now. We could do with this being shortened a little bit for the purposes of time, but yeah, I was gonna say track position is really important here.
Yep.
You want to make sure you're in front. It matters if you're in front in the first stint. You know, it's one of those tracks where you don't want to be sat behind people in the DRS, because here they'll hold you up. Yep. The dirty air is worse than the DRS is good, as it were. So you want to make sure that you are doing as much as you can to get track position early in the race.
Yeah, I mean it's a track where overtaking is like difficult in a way, but when you get really good runs and you get to stick really close to the guy behind, you can pull off some good moves even without DRS, which is pretty nice. So also with a lot of battery you can force moves sometimes. It's a little different from other tracks in that regard. And
Yeah.
Mersumaku tiptoeing around on those intermediates.
Of course, he's already P6. He's done a 29.7. It's only he and Pretorius that are yet to retire in this session. I'm going to assume that it's not going to dry up again because more people would still be in the qualifying session if that were the case.
For sure. And he goes for the pit lane.
And into the pits goes Mersumaku. He's going to practice his pit entry.
Help.
And I'm sure that that will do us for this qualifying session. We're just waiting on Pretorius to retire now. There he goes. And that is our qualifying session. A little bit shorter than normal, but certainly
Making up for the time Julian cost us at the start by not having this time updated. And there it is. Penalty for Tipsy. That is indeed quite silly. So
yep.
it's gonna drop out of the top 10. At least there's no tire. Wait, no, there will be tire. There, he won't even have the tire choice because it qualifies as a dry qualifying. That's actually sad.
He'll have to start on the softs, unfortunately for him. So that is what he will do. The drivers outside of the top 10 and the driver in P10 now, which is Danny, will get free tire choice. But it's not much of an advantage here. It's either soft medium or medium soft, or potentially soft hard or hard soft if you can't look after the tires, or if you want to be fast at the end of the race. But I think medium is usually the choice people go for.
And you see the beautiful skies. We are going to have a dry race. I don't think this is going to turn to rain. I doubt the weather transition would be fast enough. So
yeah, not as far as I know at least. Danny confirmed that it was a dry race before the qualifying started.
So we're looking at, well, I guess closer racing, because it's really hard to overtake in the wet. Like, it's practically impossible just because you can't run side by side in 130R at all. Like, it's just not possible. You don't even get DRS, and running side by side in many corners just isn't possible. We had it yesterday in rapid races, and Yugos had pace on Cody for I think the last 10 or 15 laps, and he just couldn't get past because it was intermediate conditions all the way. And I am happy that we're not getting that in this race, because I like seeing overtakes, as most do, I would imagine. Also, one feature that you've probably been shown quite a lot over the week that we have got is we can now see penalties. So that's amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that makes our jobs one heck of a lot easier, because we don't have to check every 2 seconds whether a car has a penalty or not. We can see very easily on the overlay. So we'll do that as we get going on the formation lap. Danny has gone for the medium tyres. He, as we mentioned, probably out of position there down in P10. He's a little bit faster than that. Everyone in the top 10, of course, qualified on the softs. Pixel has gone for the mediums. That's a brave one from him. NJJ and Dragon likewise. Going to try and stay with the pack and fight off the cars that are starting on softs, which is everyone around them.
Quick peek at the standing shows us that Copy and Gary are separated by 16 points right now. Copy is running in P3, or like is in P3 on the starting grid, and Gary is on pole, of course. So he could cut that gap down even more after this race. We've got 4 more to go, I think. So, was it 3? No, 4. Yeah, it's 4.
4 after this, yeah.
And so Gary looking in good shape to take P2 in this championship. Getting himself runner-up spot would be nice for him. Pretorius still with outside chances, and I think Danny is a little too far back. And yeah, that's how that looks. So let's have a look
something
at
happened
the
to
grid.
Bailey on the formation lap. Fox has been disqualified. He hit Julian by the looks of it. How did those two
How
come
they
together?
What?
That's a weird one. But yeah, something happened to... I don't know whether Bailey spun. We missed that. But he might have done on the formation lap because he's all the way at the back. Having to catch up to the pack now.
Yeah, he did spin on the formation lap according to Mr. Chief. So we will see. You know, by any chance, if they maybe have fixed the lights bug. Did they or not? Like...
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Because I mean, they added the penalty thing. They removed the looking back bug, and like with that much service for the spectators, I'm almost hopeful. Okay, this doesn't look good. So we're gonna have a delayed announcement, and we've got 5 red lights. And we go green in Suzuka, and it looks like a reasonably good start from Gary alongside Icewind, as Copy gets himself alongside Icewind actually on the outside for turn 1. He's going to try and swing it around the outside of that Alfa Romeo. They make contact, but both manage to hold it on track, but Copy is now compromised. Astro can't get past, so the top 4 run in formation. Yugos 5th, Mersu Marco 6th. I think Jensen running side by side with Justin still for P7, so those two are fighting. Someone's off in the background, that's Pixel, but Jana both off. Jensen gets P7, and yeah, we've got 2 in the gravel. It's 2 alphas from 2 different teams, and Julian P15 gets a position from Der Hammer, but the front of the grid went through safely by the looks of things. Astro and Astro's really close to Copy, but not through the hairpin. That's not going to happen. The question is, how long can he absorb the pressure from Yugos behind him?
Yeah, good stuff from everyone at the front in Tier 1. Bailey we saw go off as well. He has lost a bunch of his front wing. Pixel and Bajan obviously 2. So those 3 drivers are pretty severely compromised at the beginning of this race. But the top 5, in fact the top 6, all in order as they come around Spoon for the first time. Is anyone close enough for a move here? Mersu Marku under a little bit of pressure from Jensen. That's dragging him towards Hugo, but I don't think anyone's quite close enough for a move into
Fox
the chicane here. Fox and Tipsy side by side.
And yeah, Fox is ahead there. Those two have obviously met a lot on track and have had their fair share of arguments with each other, but I don't think there's going to be a new one here, as Julian just absolutely swings his car on those fresh softs around the outside of NJJ. And that final turn, that was a beautiful move. Used all that grip he had and got the spot.
Yep, nicely done from Julian. He's moving his way up in this field. Good to see Julian back. Through the S's we go then for the second time in this race, and the train unbroken as of yet. Hugo obviously looking after those tyres, and yeah, Mersu Marku having a little bit of a moment through there, but Jensen not quite close enough to capitalise. Jensen will feel he can make moves in this race. He's and Pretoria's son Justin as well. Pretoria's having a good look at Justin there out of Degna 2.
And Danny himself, I mean, Danny is not giving Pretorius a choice. He has to have a good look at Justin, otherwise Danny's going to have a look at Pretorius. That's how close those 3 are running right now. Justin looks like he's dropping the train a little bit. We've got yellows. I think that's the Hammer, maybe? Or Bajan. But
yeah, could well be Bajan down at the hairpin. Got several cars trailing at the back as Jensen does now make the move. He's using overtake all the way down the back straight, and he gets the move done on Mersu Marku for P6, so he can chase after Hugo now, who's in P5 just behind Astro Boys. We'll have DRS next time by on the front straight, not this time as we start lap 3.
Yeah, Yugos has not managed to get past in those first laps, and I think now he might get himself locked into the train. I mean, there are possibilities.
Oh, Fox having a good look up at the inside of Danny and sending one up the inside of turn 1. Danny having none of it. Danny, though, I think was forced back just a little bit. He's just, a bit more contact there between the S's. Fox has managed to get his way past those, so Fox on those soft tyres managing to muscle his way past Danny on the outside,
Oh,
sorry, on the
Pretorius?
inside in turn 1.
Pretorius maybe on Justin? No, Justin almost caught the gravel there. I thought maybe he was gonna boost for that, but Degner won. Not a usual overtaking spot, but Justin looks like he's cracking a little bit, and Pretorius looks absolutely angry, and he's going to the inside for the hairpin. Well, it's gonna be the outside for the hairpin. He's gonna try and break later. Justin with a little bit of a lock-up. Pretorius with the wide line. Now he has to carry all the speed, but he can't because he's on the curb. And maybe that opens him up to Fox. Nice battle group for P8 there, heading into Spoon now. I don't think there's going to be a change of position here. There's no DRS on the back straight, of course, because that would be dangerous as hell in 130R. But on the start-finish straight, they're going to have DRS for the first time.
Yep, absolutely right. Pretorius right in the slipstream once again of Justin, boosting a lot down the back straight as they head into 130R. They're going to be side by side as they go through 130R. And Pretorius does back out of that one just
but Fox
bit,
doesn't!
and Fox now maybe can capitalize around the outside into the chicane, but nothing doing. Well defended by Pretorius.
Doing a little bit of multitasking there, attacking and defending at the same time. But
Here goes Danny,
now,
trying to
Pretorius
take
is getting him.
revenge.
Pretorius is getting him. He's going to the inside. Move done early and quickly. Danny, as you said, lurking behind those. He's on mediums. Hanging on to them is probably the best he can do in that first stint on the medium tires. So this is not a catastrophe for him that he's done P11, but he's probably also losing some time waiting behind people who are fighting as much as they are. As Pretorius is absolutely taken off already. He's got a second on Justin in those S's since he overtook him. And he may be a warning there.
Justin really struggling in that Haas. He doesn't have a teammate today. We're missing Bryce from this race, unfortunately. So 19 drivers taking the start in Suzuka, as again, Justin really not enjoying life on those soft tyres at the moment. Don't know if he's...
Fox getting alongside with that
overheated
battery. I think he did that yesterday in Tier 2 as well, but he doesn't have the inside. I mean, getting alongside is nice for Spoon. You might catch someone off guard, but around the outside you're not going to be able to do it. Now on the back straight. Fox almost out of ERS. I don't know how it looks for Justin, but Fox is certainly alongside, and he's probably going to get his nose barely ahead coming into that left hand of 130R. They're running side by side once again, and they make contact. Justin absolutely all over the place, but he keeps it on the road somehow. I don't know how that happened, but that was an almighty save. Holy hell.
Yeah, bit of contact between the two of them. Looked like Fox just went into... as Hugo... Hugo having a good look and having to save the car around Astro Boys and losing the place to Jensen. Didn't see what happened there. He was very sideways with Hugo. Don't know if he hit the back of Astro. He might have done. He didn't look like he was alongside properly, but Hugo having a big moment there. He caught the car. Bailey retires. That's his 5th in a row, unfortunately.
Might that be a safe? It's
and
a VSC.
we have a VSC.
That could be
and Mersumaku has... What's happened to Mersumaku?
Oh, what?
Did he lag?
13th.
He must have lagged.
Oh, that's so weird. He doesn't have grab... Oh! He lost his wing and Tipsy's rear.
Yeah, he hit the back of
and
Tipsy
both of them get a penalty.
They both get penalties, so Tipsy having not the best luck today.
Yeah.
They both get 5-second penalties. That will be an additional penalty, I think, for Mersumaku. Unfortunate circumstances, obviously, for him as well, and he's lost a bunch of his front wing too. But yeah, lost what, 7 places, 6 places, something like that, as Pixel retires on the hard tires.
Yeah. And a little recap of an update on the front of the grid. Copy almost dropping, or like out of DRS of Icewind, and Icewind in a really good position because this man here, Gary, has got a penalty. He's the first one to get one, and oh, Icewind! He gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. I take back what I said. He has to turn right, get into the pit lane, and please not speed, thank you. Oh, what a heartbreak! I jinxed him hard there, man. My god. That was commentator's curse.
That is a painful one, yeah, Icewind retires. So he was in such a good position in this race as Mersumaku, gets himself a penalty as well. So we've lost Icewind, 3 retirements so far, Icewind, Pixel and Bailey as we start lap 6, and JJ gets himself a penalty. And yeah, you mentioned about Gary's penalty, that puts Copy into the net lead of the race right now, and Jensen, who looks like he's got really good pace in this one. We have yellows in Sector 1, why is that? Don't know.
I don't know. The yellows
that's
are
the
weird
retired.
sometimes.
That's the retired Icewind, is it? Yeah, that's the retired Icewind.
Yeah, true. Also, we've wait, what? I never. the retired Pix was also doing funny things on the minimap, I thought.
Oh, yeah, he is, yeah. So, yeah, he's retiring now as well. So, yeah, they both retired in the pits, but the game decided to drive them out of the pits as per usual.
Goddamn, yes.
So lap 6. We have, the queue of cars behind Justin shows absolutely no sign of going anywhere. Justin obviously really struggling on those tyres. He's 2.6 off the back of Pretorius already. And Pretorius himself is trying to catch the group ahead, but he's got 2.6 as well. As Fox now, once again, on Justin, the two of them side by side into 130R. Justin covers the inside, also covers the inside for the chicane. Justin having a look around the outside. Can he get the launch on the exit? I think he probably can, as Jensen does the fastest lap of the race, and surely Fox this time is close enough for the move. They both have identical ERS, and yeah, Fox just drags past down the inside into turn 1. So Fox now, hopefully for him, can make a break.
And with a big wiggle out of turn 1 there. Now I think we should reach the point where Danny should have a grip advantage on those soft runners on paper, and he might be able to attack, but for now he's getting attacked by Julian, who sticks his nose in there, but there's absolutely no space. That was very brave, and it was high risk, low reward, to be honest, but it turned out fine. He didn't die.
Absolutely right. As Danny is... Danny's problem is that he's 10 seconds off the lead of the race right now. He's on those medium tyres. Hang on, I need to add Hammer and invite him. Sorry, I'll let you talk for a little bit.
So, Danny is behind Justin now, as you said, 10 seconds behind the lead of this race. He could probably go faster, but Justin getting almighty sideways, and that might trigger the killer instinct off Danny. No, it doesn't. He doesn't use any battery here. He's gonna save it for the main straight, as Fox is absolutely checked out already. Justin dropping like a stone, to be honest, a little bit, and Danny needs to be smart about how to get past now and do it quickly. I wonder if he can do it on this lap. He almost slips on traction. The gap looks like on the very edge. Also, Hugos has managed to pass Astro while I wasn't paying attention. Going back to Danny. He's now side by side on Justin. He takes that position as he had to, and he's up to P8 now, which still decent for him after that qualifying. He's in a good spot on those medium tires for sure, but it's just not as good as it could have been had he, qualified properly.
Yeah, absolutely. So Danny making his way up. As I mentioned, he's 11 seconds now off the lead of the race. Hugo did manage to get the move on Astro there. DRS assisted pass down the front straight. He can shoot off now after Jensen, who I think will think that he's faster than Jensen, with very good pace in the first part of this race, making a couple of moves early on as we move towards the sort of time when people will be starting to think about pit stops.
Also, do you have intervals? Because I don't, and it's impossible to keep track of fights. And almost missed one here, and that is Julian slipping past Justin as well. So Julian, absolute upwards trajectory. He's been coming from the back of the grid. And, Justin's doing the opposite right now. I wonder if Tipsy can get him now, because Tipsy's got a full battery, basically. Justin's almost out, and now he's draining even more from Justin. You can see that red light in the back of the house. So Tipsy... Well, if he's aware of how that works, knows now that Justin is definitely an easy target. Reason I say that is because I didn't know. How long has that been in the game?
Danny on the inside here, sorry, of Fox, as he's close enough on those medium tyres, moves alongside and through into turn 1. So Danny making his move on those medium tyres. Fox will have known that was coming, didn't fight it very hard. And Danny up to P7 now on track, and yeah, he's now, 10 seconds off the lead still, but with a potential advantage to come in the second stint, and he'll probably try and make as much headway as he can in the next couple of laps as the cars ahead pit. Oh, as Justin makes another mistake there in Dunlop and loses at least one place, maybe two, and NJJ spins as well in the background.
How did that...
And into the wall.
Aye.
And he's lost, he's
angles.
DNF'd in fact.
Oh,
so
on track
NJJ
as well.
with the retirement, on-track retirement.
That's trouble.
And we're going to see if that causes anything. We just have local yellows at the moment, so it looks like we might just have local yellows for that.
Yeah. Oh! Mersumaku! You have to stay on the track, that's where the grip is. My dear.
Yeah, Mercy Marku having some major issues in this race, unfortunately for him.
Yeah. So we're only one DNF short of Ocean's prediction of 5, which is a little, you know, cheap because he made that prediction 3 DNFs in.
Oh, Copy and Jensen both hitting.
Yeah. And that opens them up to the overcut that Yugos is very well aware of, because he's like 50% of the reason I pulled it off yesterday.
Well, the overcut is much less powerful here because the Copy and Jensen are both going to come out in no traffic at all.
Oh, true.
They're both going to have completely clear traffic. They're both put on the medium tires, and they will be faster than the soft. So both of them, they were running, what, P2 and P3. And Gary now will have to be quite concerned that his pace stays good, because he will want to defend from that undercut. End of lap 10 is about when you want to be pitting on the medium tires. That's certainly when they'll be thinking is a good lap to pit. Gary and Hugo both going a little bit longer than the other two. Hugo, I would imagine, will pit at the end of this time, at the end of this lap. And he did have battery to burn there, so Hugo is burning battery.
I feel like he's using a lot less than I would have expected him to. Well, we'll see on the back straight how much is he gonna get down. He's going down in only 10. That's less than I would have expected, because I mean it is basically showtime. Maybe he just concedes that one and wants to cruise up in the second stint. I don't know.
Yeah, Copy and Jensen both with some battery to burn as well. Copy's going to be going as fast as he can on this out lap. As Gary and Astro both hit. Hugo stays out, so that's a brave one from Hugo. He's going to try and stretch it another lap. He did have battery to do that. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see where Gary comes out here. Astro also coming out of the pits fairly soon. And a couple of other cars pitting as well. Fox and Tipsy both pitting. So here come the other cars down the main straight. Here comes Gary. Copy is going to be alongside. Is he not quite alongside? Gary retains the position just barely, and Jensen is on the inside. I didn't see his wheel there just for a second. Jensen having a good look through turns 1 and 2. Still side by side through the S's. Jensen on the inside of the right hand and really squeezed onto the curb there, and a little bit of contact between them. Copy keeps the position. Good stuff from the two of them, though.
That was great.
They both keep it on track.
That was really great, yeah.
I just wonder if that's played into Hugo's hands as well, because the two of them fighting is very good news for Hugo, who's trying to go as fast as he can now on those worn soft tires in order to get the overcut.
So let's see how far down he goes on battery. This time he's down to 20%. Now he's used like 40% or more up over those last 2 laps, and the question is that gonna be enough? Has he been fast enough? As he breaks for the chicane, he's gonna turn right after this one and go to the pit lane, and then we'll see into turn 1 who's gonna have the nose ahead. Has that attack from Jensen cost both of them enough time? Has Hugo's been quick enough? We will see.
Looking at split times, Hugo was half a second faster than Copy this lap. Of course, the two of them were fighting. Copy and Jensen were fighting as Danny takes the lead of the race on those medium tires. Hugo did get a little bit of ground, did make up a little bit of ground on at least Copy this lap. Has he made up enough to make a difference? They're all coming down the main straight. He's certainly behind Gary. He's behind Copy and Jensen as well. So Hugo stays P4. He does have a small tyre advantage, but a small tyre advantage around Suzuka is not that big an advantage when you're behind somebody.
Yeah, overtaking is just difficult as ever, and with Gary having that penalty, it looks like this race might come down to those 3. We've got yellows. Who's that? That's Julian? No, it's the Hammer, I guess. Yeah, must have been, because it was the only one in the yellows.
Yeah, I would have thought so. So Danny and Dragon on the mediums. They started on the mediums, of course, so they're pitting for softs fairly soon. We've got Astros having a very good race as well. Julian passing. Oh, Justin's gone off. Yeah, Justin's gone off in Dunlop. So Justin having lots of struggles in this race on the mediums as well as on the softs.
What I was gonna say, it's kind of nice to see Copy and Jensen fighting like actively for a podium again. I think Copy has had like a rough streak recently, and Jensen of course hasn't been there for quite a while, and they are fighting in a really good spot. They've also gotten to the back of Gary again, and Gary, with that penalty, and with everyone aware that Gary has that penalty, is not gonna be able to do anything with this lead on track if the others don't make their mistakes.
Absolutely right. I'm sure it won't be the last penalty that we see in this race, so Gary still with an opportunity to make something happen here, but it's unlikely that he'll be able to get 3 seconds on these guys. But we will see. The top two are the 2 cars on medium tyres. Dragon has had a very good first stint as well. He's 5 seconds off the back of Danny. Danny, at the moment, would come out somewhere around where Fox is, in P8 or 9. But with the tyre advantage, of course, in the second stint, he'll lose some time, I would have thought, on the old mediums compared to the new mediums of everybody else.
I wonder how long he's gonna take those softs. I mean, they're gonna be a fresh pair. He has not used the set in qualifying, so he might go like, I don't know, 11 laps or something, or 12. I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch.
Yeah, 11 or 12 is probably about right. That's the most they will go, I would have thought.
Yeah, that would mean he would come in like 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Hugo, big battery advantage on Jensen. Having a look around the outside into the chicane. Jensen holding the inside. Hugo on the inside of the left-hander.
Defends it. That was...
Hugo with the big battery advantage. He's got 25%. Jensen has 8%. Can he go around the outside? He'll have to sweep around the outside in turn 1 and 2. Jensen does have the inside. Hugo is pushed wide and gets a penalty as well. I think he got a warning in the chicane that lap as well. So the two of them side by side, forcing Hugo into getting a penalty. Hugo still can't find his way past. Not enough overspeed on that AlphaTauri despite the battery advantage. And Hugo not only doesn't get past, but gets himself a 3-second penalty as well.
Yeah, Jensen is driving formidable in wheel-to-wheel today. I mean, he didn't take copy earlier, but that was still really good attempt from him. Like, managed to keep it side by side for the entirety of the S's, I think. And now he's defended so well from Hugos and drained him of so much battery, even forced him to get himself a penalty. So Jensen absolutely on form today.
Reached the half-distance point of this race. Yeah, Jensen, he's never one to shirk out of a battle. Is Jensen. Hugo going wide again in Spoon. And just these mistakes creeping into Hugo's driving. I'm just going to check the race director for Hugo. No, he didn't get a warning in the chicane. In fact, he got his 2 warnings in the soft stint. So that was the 3rd one. He gets himself a penalty. Going to check warnings from other people. So Gary has his penalty, and I think 2 more warnings. Copy doesn't have a warning. Jensen has 2 warnings. So Jensen looking vulnerable at the moment, and honestly, Copy looking in a very good position in this race. He's got a couple of buffers behind, one of which is his track position, one of which is Jensen's 2 warnings, and the other of which is Hugo's penalty.
Now, penalty is honestly like a huge buffer. It's so difficult to get away by 3/10 if you're if the guy you're racing with is somewhat on pace, and well, Copy is definitely at least somewhat on pace today. He's still keeping with the 9/10 of Gary, and he has been able to keep Jensen behind for the better part of this race so far.
And yeah, Jensen and Hugo both looking very racy. Hugo trying to save what battery he can, but he's been drained to the point where he won't now have a big advantage down either of the big straights in this race. End of lap 15 then. Dragon and Danny both still staying out. So the mediums staying good for a little while. Fox, though, is 20.4 behind Danny at the moment. So
Jensen! Wow, I thought he was going for a move on Copy there, and he probably thought the same, as he darted to the inside there, but then had to concede and get back tucked in behind Copy, and he's running so close in those S's. He really wants to get past him, take that net lead of the race. He's not managed to do it here, and I just wonder how this is going to unfold. They've got 11 laps left in this, and Jensen looks like he has got the pace needed for the top step, but Copy certainly has the consistency needed for the top step, and the others aren't to be counted out either if there are penalties or something like that.
Yeah, I just wonder if Copy's going to be struggling a little bit to stay in the 3-second window here of Gary, because he's already been knocked out of DRS. Hugo right on the back now of Jensen as well, side by side into Spoon. Trying to go around the outside is Hugo. Jensen pushes him off. And
Yay,
Hugo having
the curb.
to yield once again. Jensen sideways on exit. Hugo has a switchback. Surely now is when he's going to be able to make the move. He does have a battery advantage. Squeezing him down the back straight is Jensen, but Hugo has the position by the looks of it. He's got the high ground into 130R side by side. Copy giving Jensen a little bit of slipstream there. Hugo
Jensen's
does
still
have
there, and he
position for the
breaks
moment,
really late. He's
Jensen
gonna
breaking
hit Copy.
Flares absolute
Oh, he's
stand.
not.
My goodness me.
My dear. Oh my god. He managed to hold that. I'm amazed, but now Hugos.
And now we can attack Copy.
Oh,
here.
both of them!
Copy might
Copy's
lose
a
2 positions
sitting
here down
duck!
the front straight.
What's going on with Copy? He was absolutely asleep there by the looks of things, and now Jensen, Hugos both blasting past. Jensen net lead of the race, but Gary is slowly like running away. I don't know what happened to Copy there. He was just so slow. No DRS, of course, and probably didn't use any battery when he really should have.
Yeah, he's well, he didn't have very much battery to use, but yeah, maybe should have used a little bit of whatever he had down the front straight. Yeah, no DRS also costing him. I think he gave it up as done pretty much. The two of them both drafting past him, and now Jensen can stretch his legs a little bit, and the gap between Gary and the three of them is now nearly 2 seconds. So that fighting has only helped Gary. And if he can stretch that 3-second gap, he's got 2 more warnings, of course, so he might get another penalty. If he gets another penalty, it's over for him, but certainly at the moment, there's still 11 laps to go in this race. There's plenty of time for him to be able to stretch that gap.
The good news for Gary is that the guy in the train without a single warning, I don't know if it's still like that, but it used to be, Copy is now the guy last in the train, so if it stays like this, he might actually stay ahead of Copy even with 3 seconds. And if Jensen gets himself a penalty, it's not impossible. He's got 2 warnings and he's fighting so hard. You know, Gary is still very much in a decent position in this, especially with Hugo's penalty.
Yep, Jensen catching Gary pretty quickly though on that lap. 1.3 now the gap between the two of them, and Jensen on a mission today as Danny and Dragon both pit. They're both behind Fox. Dragon is behind Julian as well, just barely behind Julian. Unfortunate for Dragon that he came out so close to that racing point, but Danny has certainly got plenty of time to make his moves here. 10 lap stint on the softs. Should be pretty quick for him. He's got Fox and then Pretorius and then Astro are the 3 cars that he'll have in his sights.
The chat is a delight as always. Also, Flash River is Swedish. True. Yellows, and I think that's Moster Marku. Yes, it is. And yes, that is a wall indeed. So, fun times back down the order. And, oh, actually, now, okay, Dragon not able to get past Julian on this occasion, but maybe it's gonna happen right now. Knows that grip advantage should serve him well. I wonder if he's gonna get alongside into 130R. It doesn't look like he wants to, judging by...
Gonna wait for the main straight.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't use the battery.
got a
Oh,
battery
Hugos on Jensen. He's just suddenly gone there, so he had to cut away. But Jensen defends it once again. Back to the others, to Dragon and Julian. And they are gonna go into turn 1 now. Dragon goes for the outside. He can brake a good bit later. He's gonna have the grip on the outside line, but Julian defends it, takes the inside. He's gonna drift wide on exit, but it doesn't matter because the run towards turn 2 is too short for it to be a reasonable move. And Dragon has to stay behind Julian for a little longer. I wonder if he might actually try something through Dunlop, because He looks like he's getting a little desperate. No, he's not. Would have been insane, to be honest. Let's check back with the leaders. Jensen has started reeling Gary back in. Gap is down to 1.2 seconds, and you guys.
Sorry, Danny on Fox here down the back through 200R in towards Spoon, and Danny getting the move done by the looks of it down the inside.
No,
Spoon all then getting a moment and having to go wide. I think he's going to keep the position anyway, but Fox is certainly still there. In that slipstream. So, and here we go. Oh, and he's going to give the position, is he?
Yeah.
Is that Danny giving the position? I think it was. So Danny doing the hard work, then making a mistake, forcing him off. And he's going to have to go past again down this front straight. Hugo right on. Oh, not quite close enough this time. Copy. It's Mersu Marku's lapped car is
yeah. And now
the car
Danny
in
is
front of
valid.
Jensen. He moves out of the way.
Well ahead of turn 1. So he's got that. And yeah, what I was gonna say, Copy has started to like drop the ball a little bit. He's falling back. It's 1.4 seconds on Yugos now. He's lost DRS, and Yugos himself right on the back of Jensen. But Jensen really good at absorbing the pressure for the past 15 laps or something, and at the same time getting back to Gary. And he will be able to defend with DRS from now on. Honestly, it's just this is not a fight on even grounds for now, because Jensen has got the high ground on penalties. I just wonder if you guys can force him into like that third crucial mistake, then it would be a flat fight. And Gary would almost be in the net lead of the race. Copy is just about there, so.
Yeah, it's very close, isn't it? Copy, though, falling off the back of these two. He's obviously struggling a little bit for pace. Hugo on the back once again of Jensen. Hugo, no battery at all, though. Neither of them have any battery, in fact, as they head through 130R into the chicane. Jensen, as you mentioned, will have DRS down the main straight. Hugo chopping off the inside. Gary getting 3 more seconds, and that's 6 seconds for Gary, and that's very bad news for him, because now that puts him out of the top 4 fight altogether, and means that Astro Boys is suddenly close. But he's well behind Copy, he's well behind Hugo now as well, is Gary. So it looks like a fight between, well, Jensen and Hugo, but Jensen at the moment with the penalty advantage is looking good for the returning Alpha Tauri driver in this race.
And Dragon, he's finally gotten past Julian, but he had to take a penalty for it. He ran wide. He ran wide into turn 1, or out of turn 1 basically. Still kept himself ahead, but now he has to get an extra 3 seconds of a gap, which he will undoubtedly be able to do against Julian because he's got the tire advantage, but will compromise him apart from that. And Copy is absolutely dropped off. He's still not past the ghost car of Mersu Marku. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. Copy really struggling for pace in this
Justin
one. We got yellows.
Yeah,
is that Justin? Yep. Yes, it is.
He's doing his finest Season 1 Jesse cosplay. See, that's funny because he was in a house and got lapped twice. So
it's true. It's true.
Why do I remember that?
So Jensen and Hugo still with 6 laps to go now. Coming up to the business end of this race, and Hugo still not able to force a mistake from Jensen. He's trying to eke out whatever battery advantage he can, but honestly, it's not very much at this point. Jensen, meanwhile, going to be looking at Gary now and thinking he is faster than the Racing Point in front of him and maybe can make moves to win this race on track. As Bajan retires, we have 6 laps to go. That is a retirement on track. We have a VSC.
That would have been spicy had it been a full one, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it would have.
Oh, Mersu Marku! What? Copy! He had Copy! How? But he's ghosted.
I guess because he unghosts with the VSC.
Are you kidding
and that means that suddenly there is, suddenly there's collision between those two. So I imagine that's what happened. Copy didn't get a penalty, only Mersu Marku did, which Copy will be. Actually, it doesn't matter because it'll be taken off whatever. But yeah, in the meantime, this VSC and Fox with the drive-through. Fox with the drive-through, so I'm just going to check there wasn't another one there as well. I thought I saw two things flash up.
I think that's Tipsy to the points.
Yep, it certainly does. Yeah, it was only Fox with a drive-through, so Tipsy will inherit that position, and drive-through penalties really costly. They did fix the bug where you can speed under the VSC at the end of the VSC.
When did that happen?
That was the last patch that got fixed.
Oh, so maybe, yeah, because this is the third VSC drive-through I've seen in 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's just that people are less careful.
Yeah, I think so. And there is our 6th retirement. Mazumaku is the latest, unfortunately, with 5 laps to go. Hugo falling off the back now of Jensen.
He's got that's Gary! Gary's off! He's facing the wrong way out of Dunlop! He's just dropped it from the lead!
Dunlop.
Oh my god, well, that's gone to shambles then. He's absolutely out of this. There's Danny. Fox is not gonna get him because of the drive-through. Dragon is probably ahead of him. So yeah, with the penalties especially. So it looks like it's gonna be a double Williams podium, but Yugos has got that penalty that makes it a really hard task for him to win this race against Jensen. He needs Jensen to make a mistake, honestly, at this point, and Jensen will be very well aware of the fact that the only way he doesn't win this race is a mistake, so might drive a little more cautious than normally, and resist a little less if Yugos tries to, bait that penalty out of him by attacking him real hard.
Yep, Hugo not going to be giving up though. 8 tenths is the gap at the moment. We have 4 laps to go, and it does mean crucially that Jensen loses that DRS advantage that he, or rather, has a DRS disadvantage now with with Gary removing himself from that fight with that moment at Dunlop as Gary gets himself 3 more seconds. That was at the chicane, I think. And also gets a pit lane speeding penalty, and he's retiring from the race. So another retirement.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7 now. And we're down to 12 runners.
They're falling like flies. My god. It's been quite incredible. Now Fox pits a Tipsy up to P9. 2 points for now. And I think Fox is too far back. Also, as chat has gladly reminded me, Danny and Pretorius coming up, and I think that's probably not going to be the most difficult move in Danny's life, both without a penalty and Danny certainly with a grip advantage. I don't think Pretorius can hold him up long enough. I just wonder if Danny will be able to, take Pretorius maybe this lap and then close in on the other Mercedes of Astro as well. Maybe he can still get P4 out of this, but he has to do absolute bangers on those last laps, and he has to be spot on with his overtaking, so it'll be a challenge, but it's possible.
Keep an eye on the leaders here. Hugo is attacking. 3 laps to go. 4 tenths is the gap. Not close enough down the front straight this time, I wouldn't have thought. Maybe he catches him out there. They're both burning battery as Jensen having to go defensive on the inside. Hugo having a look around the outside. He's going to try and be a brave one to make this work, and that's a little bit too much from Hugo, just attacking a little bit too much there. He did get the run out.
Oh, Danny.
So he is still there. Danny on Pretorius, yeah, as you mentioned. Easy move down the inside into turn 1, but with 2.5 laps to go now. Hugo trying everything he possibly can to force a mistake. Has a small battery advantage. He burned some of it there on the exit of Dunlop.
I feel like this is funny, but I think this is the first time this season I've seen Hugos look somewhat desperate. Because that's what it looked like in turn 1.
Certainly fired up for this one, isn't he, Hugo? He's giving it everything he's got. He's burning battery again down the straight here into 200R and trying to force a mistake. Jensen covering the inside into Spoon just for a moment, but Hugo not close enough. And now Jensen with the battery advantage, but Hugo with the slipstream, of course. He will be able to stay there or thereabouts on that Alpha Tauri. It's not tremendously powerful, though, as Jensen burns some of that battery just to make sure he's ahead enough into the chicane with 2 laps to go. Down the main straight. Is there any possibility at all? Can he get the run out here, Hugo, on Jensen? No, he can't. He's not close enough this time either. fantastic scrap for the lead we've got in the last couple of laps of this race. Jensen with 2 warnings, no penalty though. Hugo has a penalty. And Copy lurking as well, though he's 5 seconds behind now, so it looks like it is just going to be a podium for Copy. Not able to live with the pace of these two at the end of the race, but this is the battle that maybe we've been waiting for in SLR. Jensen really taking the fight in this race to Hugo, who's looked so good all season. But Jensen in this one might just have the upper hand, might just have the advantage that he needs to take it.
At the start of the season, I personally thought that this was gonna be like the fight of the season, Jensen versus Hugos, and like WoW also in the mix and Copy, like those 4, and now it hasn't worked out for the AlphaTauri boys, has it? But today, looks like it's a good day for the AlphaTauri boys. I obviously don't know if WoW's still leading our Enduro, but Jensen is certainly leading this one. And he's got 1 lap to go, 5/10 of a buffer, and also, well, the 3 seconds on Hugos help him as well. So, just 1 more lap. What could possibly go wrong? I'm really trying to jinx it at this point.
And is there any possibility here of a run down the main straight? Hugo with a small battery advance. That was a mistake from Jensen. That was a mistake on the entry to the chicane. Hugo now very, very close. He's going to burn everything he's got here. And Jensen knows that he's in a little bit of trouble. He's burning everything as well. Overtake both of them down the main straight. Jensen covers the inside. Hugo with a little bit more of an overspeed this time around the outside through turns 1 and 2. Can he make the move stick? Still side by side. Still side by side, wheel to wheel. Hugo has gotten the move done. He is going to win it on track by the looks of it, but crucially no 3rd warning for Jensen, who did fight that as much as he could, but only as much as he could and no more.
I'll watch him through Degner just to make sure. Yeah, that was careful.
Very conservative through there, yeah. And I just wonder, Hugo going to give it everything he's got, but obviously 3 seconds is too much
over to
make up.
So, he is really close to Astro, and he knows he doesn't have a DRS straight to go. And oh, it's the back of Astro. There was no car with there. He absolutely sent it. That was unnecessary. Should have waited to the back straight. That would have probably been the better.
Oh, Dragon and Pretorius have had an incident. Pretorius went off.
Yeah, I saw the yellows. I didn't know what for though, but that's it. Julian getting passed into P6, but Danny almost shoving Astro. The fact that he doesn't have a front wing is going to make it so much harder and actually impossible for him. I don't think he's going to make this. So P4 is probably going to be the one. Yeah, it's going to be Astro, and P5 Danny. Decent recovery, but coming through the final corner with a little bit of a drift is our P2 of this race as he comes across with a penalty. Jensen takes victory on his comeback, and that was a beautiful race from him. Copy didn't quite have it in the end. P3 for him, and Astro defends from Danny for P4 and then P5 Dragon. I don't know how many penalties he does have. Let's actually check. It's 3 seconds. Yeah, that's not going to matter. Good result. That's a very good result for him. And Pretorius, well, we didn't see what happened between Dragon and Pretorius there on the last lap. Pretorius falling all the way down to P8. And Tipsy coming through P9. 2 points for Tipsy after his various mishaps in this race. And Fox coming across the line P10. Only 2 other finishers, Justin a long way behind after his various incidents in P11, and Hammer likewise P12. Everyone else retired. 7 retirements in this one. Melissa's bottled it. I just had to check to calm my nerves.
No.
When P12.
Milosh. Oh.
the other 2 SK is in P9, but yeah, they haven't seen me drive yet, whereas we're waiting for Justin, and now the Hammer was gonna take it slow over the line. P12. At least he stuck around until the end. There he goes. I actually didn't know he was a no assists driver. Like,
well, he's not normally. I think that might have been the cause of some of his struggles today. But still, got the made the full distance, did the full 27 laps of this one. And there is Jensen, who wins the race on his comeback. It was a fantastic drive from Jensen, and I wonder if we can bring him in. Nobody else is in the SLR chat at the moment, so let us know if you want to talk to us, and certainly we want to talk to the guys at the front of that race at the end. It was a fantastic drive.
Remember to keep it short.
Yeah, we have to keep it fairly short, but
Yeah, it's
that's why I'm trying to get it done early.
Yeah.
Who's our driver of the day? Is it Jensen?
Yes.
I think it is. Jensen's our driver of the day. He won the race as well. So, good stuff from him. Hugo with that 3-second penalty forced into those mistakes and eventually did make his way past, but too little too late from our champion. And Copy with a pretty creditable P3 as well at the end of that one. Good drive from Copy. So yeah, we're still lacking anyone to talk to us.
Guys, we're really nice. Please come.
Only going to be 1 or 2 interviews, but I think at this point it's going to be first come first served.
Yeah.
Put yourself in one of the SLR channels. There we go. There's Hugo. Let's. Oh, there's Danny as well. Here's Hugo, who won that race on track. That was an epic battle at the end with Jensen. How are you feeling after that, Hugo?
It was frustrating, very frustrating. I had that one. Well, I had them 2 chances around the outside where I just couldn't keep it on the track, and then that one where I thought I had it done, but then Copy was in front of me into the chicanes, and then he left room for Jensen on the inside.
Well, and he gave Jensen slipstream down the straight, didn't he, as well? As that, I think that made the difference too. You saw him pull back on you on the straight, on the outside there as well. Is that right, or?
Where?
Maybe not.
What?
Yeah, the one where Jensen sent it back on you on the inside into the chicane. I thought you were passed down the straight, but then Jensen clawed it back on you on the outside, heading into 130R, and I think it was because he had to copy slipstream.
Oh, I didn't notice, to be honest.
Okay, all right.
I just remember that he was below 10% battery the whole race, and I was at 60 or something at one point, and I used it all, and still didn't get past him because I don't know. I don't know how he was still alongside me down the straight with no battery.
Yeah, I think that was why. I think that's what happened. Should we bring Jensen in? Do you?
Yeah.
What do you? Yeah, let's do that because, like I said, it was an epic battle between the two of you, and it would be a shame not to speak to you both at the end of the race because, yeah, I mean that was. How are you feeling after that, Jensen? Congratulations first of all on the comeback win.
Well, extremely happy. Finally, I had some pace back, and I wasn't the unlucky one. It was a really tough race because I was on 2 warnings. Well, I think in the first stint or even. So it was really difficult. Copy gave me the big squeeze, so no one was taking prisoners today. So it was really hard, the overtaking, the defending on Hugo as well. 100% on the limit, still fair, but you had to keep your elbows out, and I was low on ERS as well, and Hugo could see that, of course, so he was biding his time for a final strike. Well, fortunately I could postpone it till the last lap. Yeah, and then I knew I just had to keep it clean, not get the third warning. And finally.
Yeah, it's been a little while coming.
Yeah.
But certainly, I mean, just really good to see. It was a fantastic battle between the two of you. I mean, obviously, there's no championship implications. You're here to have fun, I guess, in the final 4 races. Are we going to see you in the final 4 races for the?
Cota and Brazil. I think I'm definitely signing up. So if there's space, I will drive those 2 at least. And then next season I'm planning to return. I think the little break did me well. Well, at least it did today. So it was probably for the better. So extremely happy to win. And without Hugo, Hugo made it an even more beautiful win, because I really had to fight for it till the last lap. I had Gary in front of me, so I was like, alright, finally I can save some ERS just in the DRS, and Hugo can't do a thing. And then Gary lost it out of Dunlop. So I knew those last few laps were going to be pretty difficult, but like I said, extremely happy that finally I could show something again. And I didn't even expect it after qualifying, which was comedy capers, so to say. I got overtaken in the final chicane right before the outlet by 3 cars or something. Everyone was just diving each other because the rain was coming, and it compromised my quali. But extremely happy to work my way up to the front and to win this race.
Yeah, no, it's really good to have you back, and it's we're hoping to see more fights like that in the future. It was really good to see.
Thanks.
Any shout outs from either of you before we move on?
I mean, if I have to give a shout out, it's to Hugo. He made the race tough till the last second. Was a really mental game as well, of course, because he was trying to push me into maybe a penalty as well. And without him, it was maybe a little more beautiful than it was now.
Good stuff. That was really good stuff. All right. Well, thanks for talking to us, both of you, and we'll move on to a very quick interview with the returning Julian, who you posted that IndyCar video earlier on, Julian. So that's what you've been doing over the course of the last few weeks. How did it feel coming back to F1 today?
It felt really good. I don't think I've driven the game for 3 weeks to a month at all. So I just showed up. I put a Spain setup on. It was it was surprisingly good. I felt confident right away on the first lap already. I tried to pass a couple people on the formation lap to get some speed there and feel how the game is again at speed. But I made contact with somebody, so sorry about that on the formation lap. But the race was so good, man. On lap 1, I was already up to P14 or P13, so that was great. I put off some really good overtakes in the race, so I'm really happy. I could just race people how I wanted to. I was confident on the brakes. Not quite as consistent. We gotta work on that, but I mean, I can't complain at all for just showing up there and getting P7 from P18 on the grid. So. I'm extremely happy.
Yeah, really good driver. We're going to see you in the last 4 races of the season as well.
That should be the case, yes.
Hey, fantastic. All right. Well, Kota next. So you've been doing lots of American driving. Have you got much experience with Kota?
No, and I hate the track.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I love the other one in Texas much more. Texas Motor Speedway.
It's I mean, cookie cutter ovals. It's it's
sometimes cookie cutters are good. I mean, I don't like the reconfiguration though, but anyway, Texas is
okay. All right. Well, thanks for talking to us, Julian. Well done on the points finish.
Thank you, guys.
And we will, I think, leave it there. I think Timo is eager to get back to his Enduro buddies and try and salvage something from his P12 in that one. So yeah, do you want to wrap us up, Timo?
Oh, sure. So, thanks everyone for watching. It's been a great race, I think, and if you enjoyed that, then you might have some more good racing coming up tomorrow to watch, because to SRL, the 2 races happening Tier 2 and Tier 1, and Tara and I are gonna drive in that Tier 1 race, so let's see if we're better at driving than commentating. We'll find out. That sounded weird. Oh god, I'm distracted. It's fine. What I was gonna say, next week we've got Kota. You sure it's Kota? I think isn't it Mexico? You said Kota in the interview.
I thought it was Kota.
That's what I was thinking about. I think it's Mexico.
I'm not sure. Okay, maybe it's Mexico.
Correct
I don't
us.
know.
So, whatever. There's only one way to find out, really. Watch the races, okay? Thanks for watching, and goodbye.